It wants to know what is Profeco. That's how you pronounce it, by the way. That's how I pronounce it. But anyways, what is Profeco? All right, and we're going to talk about it a little further, deeper than just answering the simple question, because Profeco is basically Mexico's Consumer Protection Agency, as I say in the title. But what is it? How do you contact them? What do they do? Yada, yada, yada. Now, one of the things that I talk about a lot on this show is the fact of the government of Mexico, which is great because it's small and inefficient in comparison to the USA, which I love. I love that the government, for the most part, all the bad parts, of the government, in a sense, the things that I don't like. We all have our likes and dislikes of things. But anyways, they're usually very inefficient, slow, and don't work. But one of the programs out there, one of the government agencies out there that actually does work, is pretty quick, very efficient, very accountable, all these other things, is Profeco, believe it or not. And so in the USA, for example, we got, also the Better Business Bureau, and we have all these other consumer protection agencies, but for the most part, they fail the people miserably. I don't want to get into all that, but we are just used to the fact that we don't have a consumer protection agency. In fact, what a lot of people in the US end up doing is that when these corporations or what have you, businesses do bad things, eventually, they just get sued in court. And then, it's basically money against money. Whoever has the most amount of money or influence or what have you, they win out in court. And that's how things are taken care of in the USA. Sometimes you'll see things like class action suits, and you'll see all these other major what have yous in order for consumers out there to get retribution. But never ever ever do you really see the government, the U.S. government, get involved. They definitely don't want to be messing around with their corporations, almost as if it was an oligarchy. But anyways, that's another story for another day. But long story short, it's very hard to really again, get any kind of justice with corporations in the USA these days. And it almost seems like they run the show, therefore, making it even more difficult. But in Mexico, it is not like that at all. Like I've said many times before, the reason that the police in Mexico, in one example, why they behave in a sense, and they might just be asking for bribes instead of killing you, is simply because, hey, if they commit an actual crime, they're going to serve some time. So again, a little bribery, a little, taking a little cash here or there, that's not a major crime. Killing somebody is. And so they would rather not do that, okay? And they don't. Because now they're implicated in murder just like any other human. So guess what? With corporations, it's the same thing. If they do bad things, well, guess what? They're going to be paying the price. And no corporation, no business is exempt from Profeco. All right? Believe it or not. All right? Which is, the longer I'm here, the more I see, how amazing Profeco is. All right? And I'll give you an example. I'll give you a quick example. One of the major examples, okay? For example, in the U.S., we know, forget the U.S., around the world, okay? But especially if you come from the U.S., you know that airlines are the worst, all right? Not only are they the worst, but they don't take any accountability. They don't take any responsibility. They treat you like cattle. They treat you like animals. They'll treat Lambo better than they'll treat you, all right? But anyways, long story short, they're bad. Mexico, it's really not that much of a difference. The airlines are just terrible all around. But when they do misbehave in Mexico, for example, let's say that they are overcharging people like, they love to do, or, there's a problem with their policy when it comes to checked baggage or personal, what is it, like, the personal things that you can bring on a plane, or, all that stuff, all the stuff that you see people are constantly fighting the airlines for, and the airlines just basically say, hey, you do what we say, or you get out of here, or we're going to take your money, we're going to do whatever we want. Anyways, in Mexico's not like that at all. In Mexico, if they got rules, policies, whatever, they better follow them. And if they don't, they're going to get in trouble, like major trouble. And Profeco is constantly like fining and, going to like airports and like shutting down, like, I don't know, Aero Mexico, you know what I mean? because they're out there treating their clients unfairly by not allowing them with the proper baggage on the plane. What's it called, the personal belongings? What are those I don't know, I'm having a brain fart here, but you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a bunch of airlines that, like in the US, that they like, all right, the carry-on luggage, has to fit in a certain thing. And, they just do whatever they want. Even if it fits in the thing, they can deny you and make you check it and all this other stuff. But in Mexico, they've had similar situations like that, or they've had other horrible situations, all the things that the airlines already do. But they come out here, and not only do they give them a fine, but they'll straight up just come to the airport and shut them down and be like, you know what, until you rectify this, you cannot fly any more planes. Sorry, tough cookies. And so if they do that with airlines, imagine what they do with everybody else. And so, for example, I mean, they got like even like a